Welcome back guys, hope you're well. So around me we've got all the GTR parts, well not all of them but majority of them. So we've got all the panels here. It took us quite a while to find all these parts. We looked on Facebook Markets, eBay, Gumtree, you name it. We called radius breakers as well, and this is the result of all that. So we've got the bumper, door, rear bumper, front bumper, lower lip, pretty much everything for the outside of the car is here. So in terms of condition, you probably saw in the last episode we put the door on. It is in mint condition, there's no damage to that. Same with the bonnet, that's in mint condition as well. The rear bumper you saw in the last episode as well, it's got a few scratches here and there but nothing major. We've also got the front bumper here as well. Guys, the front bumper is going to be a bit of a nightmare because we are struggling to find parts for it. Like this one's missing a toe cap, the one we've got is also missing a toe cap. The driver's side DRL is missing, as well as the washer jet cover as well on the driver's side. So finding those little niggly bits is quite tough, so we're going to wait until the Nissan dealership open so we can basically purchase those little parts from the dealership, because trying to get something like that, toe cap online, is not easy. No one's really got one for some reason. So yeah, as well as that bumper, we've got the lower lip for it as well. It's got a bit of damage just around this bit here, but I'm sure Z can repair that. We are thinking about painting that in a black gloss. We're going to paint the diffuser the same colour as well, black gloss. So the rear diffuser, the lower lip, black gloss. I think it'll go well with the black gloss rims. Black gloss and grey, they kind of go well together, so hopefully it'll look nice once it's done. So yeah, the diffuser is in pretty much good condition. Still needs a repaint because it's got a few little marks here and there. The side skirt is the same colour as what we've got right now. There's a few marks here and there, so we'll definitely have to repaint that. Last two things, backlight and the wing. So we'll talk about the wing first. It is kind of buried underneath the bumper. I don't want to kind of pull it out and damage it, but anyways, it's already got a bit of damage just on this side. So we'll have to get the panel beater to basically get that shape back, and hopefully Z can go back over it with the skimmer filler and get that shape bang on before we put it on. So yeah, just here I've got the rear light for the driver's side. Now this is actually a pre-facelift light. Our GTR is a facelift model, so the lights are actually different. Now on the pre-facelift, you got that dotted design in a circle pattern. Now on the facelift model, it's just one full circle, it's like one full solid circle, so it doesn't have that dotted design. So what we're going to do is, you're probably wondering why we bought the pre-facelift one. As you know, the one we've got, the internals are fine, but it's just the shell that's broken. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to dismantle this light, and we're going to basically transfer this shell onto the damaged light. So basically we'll get all the internals and we'll basically put them inside this light, so it'll be like pretty much like a brand new light. So yeah, once that's done. So yeah guys, if you look at the list that I've showed you probably 4 or 5 episodes ago, there's a massive list full of parts. Now majority of the parts we do have now, I would say about like 80+% of parts we do have off this list, so I can take majority of these parts off now. So yeah, majority of the parts we do have, it's just a few of the bits and bobs that we need to purchase, like the driver's side airbag for the seat. We need to find that. I have found one, but I don't know if it's the right one, so I need to take the airbag out that driver's side seat just to match up the part numbers. So yeah guys, these are all the parts that we have right now. So yeah, there's a lot of prep work that needs doing, but I think once we've finished all the prep work, these parts will come out pretty much like brand new once they've all been prepped and painted as well. So yeah, we're going to start the video by well, Z's going to basically lynch shine all the welds that he did in the last episode, so we'll start by doing that. So I've lynched down most of the welds along this side, along the quarter glass as well. I'm going to use the Dynafile to get around here because you can't actually get the lynching disc inside there. And also this little seam weld right here, you need to get the Dynafile in there to get that nice and flat. So we'll just carry on with that now. So I finally finished down all them bolts
You can see right there, they're nice and flat. They will need a skimmer filler just to level them off. Off camera, I've actually lineage down the welds underneath as well. So you see right there, all around here has all been done. All along this side and along the top. That did take some time, so I didn't really get it on camera. So yeah, we're on the next stage of actually lineaging down all the welds around this piece right here. We'll have to get the Dynafile to get all these welds nice and flat and around here. So yeah, we'll get a move on that now. So I've lineaged down all the welds and Dynafiled them as well inside here. It wasn't easy to get to, but it's done now. All it needs now is just like a skimmer filler, just to give it a nice shape up, and that should be it for that. So there's no more Dynafiling and lineaging to do now. So we're pretty much complete on the back end. Before we do any work on the back, what we really want to do is repair this damage on the lower sill, get that pulled out. But before we actually do that, we need to get that wing off as well. So that wing's going to come off first before we start any work on that. And also once that's been done and filled up and shaped up, when this car goes into the body shop, what we're going to do is just mask it off inside all the way to the back and just paint that sill, the quarter on the inside, all as one whole. So yeah guys, let's start off by getting this wing off. So that wing is off. It's pretty straightforward to get off. 3 screws of the splash guard, 2 10 mils along the bottom, 2 on the side, 1 along the top, 3 along this side, and 2 14 mils for the front panel, and it pretty much comes straight off. You will have a few more screws obviously because it's damaged around this area. You will have a few more screws there. I was actually hammering it because the wing was gone in and I couldn't get to them 3 bolts right there. So I tilted it back slightly with the hammer and got the gun in there, got them all off. So yeah, we're pretty much done for that. I need to move that wood block out the way to get easy access to that damage right there, and also that jacking point needs to actually come off. Once that's off, we got access to work with that way. So yeah guys, let's move that back, get that jacking point off, then we'll start working on that damage. So the way we can actually be repairing this damage right here is by cutting a box section out, and by meaning box section I mean by getting a grinder and just cutting it straight through a line along the top and at the bottom as well. And yeah, what we're going to be doing is taping it up so we get straight lines. And also on the bottom it's got spot welds on there on the bottom. We'll drill them all out, and once they're drilled out that should come off as a whole. If you look right here, there's a curve. Actually curves in, so there's no way of actually repairing that unless you actually cut that box section out, which we'll be doing right now. So yeah guys, let's start cutting that out. So we straightened our piece up right here, you can see right there. So what we're going to do is just give it a clean up from the inside and just give it a coat with the edge primer on the inside as well, where we're going to be actually welding. That's going to be coated up. So the plate's welded up now, you can see right there. We got seam welds all in place. So we're on the next stage of actually linishing it all down now, getting it nice and flat. Once that's done, we'll move on to the next stage. So we are on the next stage. You can see right there we linished down all them valves. So we need to do a bit of pulling on this side where it's got a few high and low spots. We'll be using this dent puller right here, and also I've left this piece right here because I couldn't actually get the linishing pad in there, so I'm going to get the dyno file in there just to level that off. Once that's done, we'll start the next process of pulling out the little highs and lows that need sorting around here. So all we need to do once that's done is just give it one coat of filler. So the dent's been pulled down, you can see right there, it's nice and level, so that just needs a skim of filler. Before I actually put the dent puller away, I just want to get this dent out right here. I'm not sure if you'll pick up on the camera, but there's a dent literally right here. So I'm just going to linish that down and just pull that dent out, then just linish it down again, and that should just need one skim of filler. So we'll get started on that now. So rear arch is nice and smooth, it's been linished down, and the next stage of feathering it all out using a 180 on a DA. Once it's all feathered out, we're going to move on the next stage of actually start filtering it. So we're going to be filling that section right there, along there, and along the bottom as well. Also this sill, what we're going to do is just feather it all out, get the paint off it, then we can start getting it prepped for the filler. So I sanded all the areas down that we're going to be applying the filler to with 180 grit. So that's all prepped for the filler. I've done this section as well from the top and underneath. So what we're going to be doing first is applying filler to that part. That we'll be concentrating on that first. Once that's finished, then we can move onto the rear quarter. So I've applied the filler in a few different areas. You see right there, along the bottom. I've not done that arch yet. Along the back as well, and along the side. It might have looked like I've applied a lot of filler, but when you start actually rubbing it down, a lot of it comes off. So I'm going to just carry on with that and start rubbing it all down and shaping it up. So the first coat of filler is pretty much done. That still might need one more skim just to level it all off. This area is done as well, and also the top. Along the bottom I've just flattened it all down. I will be, when I work on the arch, putting filler on the arch, I'll be putting just a skim on here just to level it all off. And around here, I did see a ding around here, so I just flattened it. It just needs one little skim of filler. On the back we are pretty much done. This is all level. And around here there's like a little low spot around here. I'll just give you a little skim right there when I do the arch. So I'm going to mix some more filler and just finish off that arch and a few areas like the top where we need the filler. So we'll get started on that now. So I finally finished off on that lower sill and the rear quarter right there. It's taking shape really well. I did go heavy on the arch just so I only give it one coat, so I don't need to put another coat on it. It's taking shape really well. You can see right there, there's not really a ton of filler on it. If you look right there, it's just a skim, so a lot of that filler come off. I've done the quarter glass area as well, that's all been skimmed off and nicely leveled, and the door shut area, that's all nicely leveled off, and underneath as well, and also the sill. So what I'm going to be doing now is moving on to the rear. All this gets covered up except for this part right here, but I really want to give that a good skim to get it nice and level, so when it comes to painting it, it's all flat. Also this is exposed when you open the tailgate, so that will need a skim, otherwise you can see all the ups and downs on it, where we've been using our Dynafile, and there you can see our joints right here. So we'll be skimming that, shaping that up. So what I'm going to be doing now is just getting our paper and giving it a rub down, getting all that paint and lacquer off it. Then we're going to start skimming it. Once it's skimmed, then we can move on to the next stage. We're getting there slowly, guys. So the filler's been applied now, it's nice and dry, so I'm going to start flattening that down. I did miss out this area whilst I was shaping this side up. So what I'm going to do is, once it's all been flattened down, I'm just mix some more filler and just apply it around here and get that nice and smooth. So just going to carry on with that, just flattening it all down now and shaping it all up. So we're pretty much done with the fill work. You can see right there, it's all been smoothened off and sanded down. To finish it, I'll have to get the seal off it and obviously rub it down before we apply the primer. But I'm going to leave that there for now, and also the quarter will need to be prepped for primer. But before we actually do any of that, what I'm going to be doing now is applying the seal. The seal is going to be going around these areas, like around here, around the top where we have a seal. On our joint right here. Also on the inside there's loads of seal that needs to go in between the joints, where quarter panel folds into the arch. That's all sealed up. Where quarter joins onto the rear panel, this has a seam running along it, the seal. Also on the rear back shelf there's a seal that runs along here and on the other side. Also there's loads of seal that's going to be going on the inside around the inner wheel arch all the way down to the other side, and also around here and on the back right there. So we're going to basically be prepping all that, getting the white brush on it, cleaning it all up. Then once that's done, we'll blow it all down, get any loose dust off it, then we start applying the 3M seal. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly do that off camera. I'll give it a good clean, blow it down, then when it comes to applying the seal, I'll put the camera back on. So all the areas have been cleaned down where we're going to be actually applying the seam sealer to. You can see right there. We have also applied masking tape just so that we don't touch the roof of the quarter whilst we're applying it. Also it needs shaping up. So I've just put masking tape down there, so it needs to be this shape right here. So it's all clean, pretty much ready to go to apply the seam sealer to. On the inside, if you remember from the last couple of videos, there's a black polyurethane seam sealer that goes in between the two arches. So I've got that right here, so I'll apply that first. Once that's done, we start applying the other white seam sealer. So I've applied the black polyurethane seam sealer, you can see right there. So the next step is to swap it over to the white one. It's a 3M product, you see right there. So we're going to swap that over, use that, and also we have a 3M brush. It's a special brush, it has plastic hairs on it, and it's very good to get that factory finish on it. You can see right there. So we'll be using that once it's been applied. We'll let that set. For now, what we'll do is we'll just carry on. Start from the back and move our way down to the front. Once all the outsides are done, we start on the inside. By then the black polyurethane should be all dry. Then we just put the white seam sealer on top of it. So it is the next day, guys. Our seal is nice and dry. All the areas have been covered, all the joints. So you see right there on the inside, and also along here. From factory, this is all sealed. Basically, the reason being is because when the wheel liner goes on, it stops around about here, and this is all exposed. And the reason why I've got extra seal on this area is because when we welded that inner panel on, this piece right here, it actually burnt the seal on the other side. So I did give it a good clean and filled up all them spots where the seal was actually burnt from. That's why it looks a bit messy, but that will be painted. Also, I've sealed it along the top as well, so you get no water in there. Also on the inner arch, that's all been sealed up well. Around the fuel area, that's done. Also on the inside, that's all sealed up. Around the rear, our top panel is all sealed as well. You see on the inside. So we are pretty much complete with the seal. What we'll be doing now is prepping our panels for 2-pack primer for all the areas where we got heavy repairs. For example, the arch, that dent right there, the lower sill as well. So what I'm going to be doing now is using a 400 grit and just sanding it down and just smoothing it all off, because we've got deep scratches around here. So I'll feather them all out. Once that's done, we could start masking it all up and start getting that 2-pack primer on. I'm not going to be doing these areas right here because we're going to be using a rattle can primer. It's called hybrid primer, which is really good. So we're not going to be we're not going to be actually priming this area up when we do obviously the sill and the arch. That's going to be done at a later date. For now, we're going to be working on these areas, getting them all prepped, feathering them all down, and start prepping them for primer. So all the areas have been all masked off, ready for primer. In a few different areas, like here and on the arch, I've backmasked it. It's just so that we don't get an edge once it's been primed, and it's easy to cut with. So that's all sorted now. I'm going to start mixing the primer, then we can start getting it on. So I've given it 2 thick coats, a 2-pack primer, and also given it a coat with the guide coat, that black stuff there. So what we'll be doing now is removing all that masking tape, then we can move on to the next job. So I've removed all the masking tape. Whilst we're actually waiting for that primer to set, what I'll be doing now is fitting all the suspension back up on the drive side rear, which is all complete with all the arms, the drive shaft and all. So we'll be fitting all that back up. It actually comes with the park brake cable, which is right there, which we'll be removing because we're going to be using our own one. So yeah guys, let's start fitting everything back up and hopefully get that disc back on, as well as the caliper and also the tyre. So all the suspension components will be all nicely tightened up. On the inside there's brake shoes, so before we got the disc on we had to loosen them and put the disc on and also adjust it once you have the disc on from around this adjustment area right here. That's all been adjusted nicely. On the rear I've just placed the adjustment holes where we got the markings. I just placed it on them spots right there and there, just so it's not too badly out of line when we get that wheel on. It will get four-wheel aligned once the car is on the road. That's basically just so it's not too badly out of line. The inside will be all painted up. Once it goes into the spray booth, that wheel will be coming off and we'll be spraying the inside. So what we'll do now is we'll get the yellow wheel on the rear, fit back up. Also on the front, this alloy wheel is badly buckled. It's not actually holding here, so we get both alloy wheels fitted, we get the jacks taken off. Once that's done, we'll take it from there, we'll get it on all four wheels. The car's on all fours, all the skates will be removed. So in the next video, we will be priming all the inside and also painting all the inside areas, as well as the rear, the quarter panel and the sill. So majority of the work on the rear, which was the hardest part of the build, is pretty much complete.
Right guys, we're going to end the video there. Thanks a lot for watching. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. So we have purchased two of the project cars that we mentioned before. So you've got a performance car as well as a budget performance car as well. So we are still on the lookout for the 4x4. So if you guys have any suggestions, drop it down below. There was one 4x4 that I had my eyes on. I was supposed to bid on it early in the morning, but I completely forgot about it. So yeah guys, drop your suggestions down below of what car we should be purchasing. If you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you do. It's at Performance Rebuilds. Before we go guys, I just want to say that maybe Wednesday or the Saturday we'll be doing a video on the budget build that we purchased, the budget performance car, sorry. So yeah, we're going to end it there. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.